Our next speaker is Kevin Krajcir, Amerodectes jonesborensis. Who might that be?
Hello everyone, I'm a master's student at Arkansas State University, and today I'll be talking to you about a feather mite species called Amerodectes jonesborensis. And so to kind of set the stage about feather mites in general, they are vein-dwelling mites, which makes them pretty unique on birds. Birds have various mites that are associated with them, including nest mites, nasal mites, mites that live in their feather quills, but these mites live on the veins of the wing and tail flight feathers only, where they consume fungi and bacteria microbes that live on the feather surface. Feather mites are a pretty diverse group. We know of about 2,000 species, but 80% of their diversity remains undescribed. In the genus Amerodectes in particular, we know of about 40 described species across 12 different passerine families, but again, this still needs to be more described. Within the passerine family of New World warblers in particular, 90% of those warbler species still need to be assessed for Amerodectes mites. And so to show you our little guy, this is Amerodectes jonesborensis. It was described by one of my former lab mates. In fact, this is a male, and this is the ventral side of him. We can tell it's a male by, if you look at the top, you see the two circular discs that kind of look like eyes. That's not the face. Those are actually called anal suckers. And he uses those to grasp onto his female counterpart during copulation. And then that thread-like thing in the middle is called an oedicus, and that's used for sperm transfer during copulation as well. So this is a male. Other things that set Amerodectes jonesborensis apart from other mites include length and number of setae, so the little fine hairs on his body, and then details of the ambulacrae, which are those kind of hook-like projections at the end of the arms. Despite all these interesting distinguishing characteristics, Amerodectes jonesborensis was actually named after Jonesboro, Arkansas, which is where Arkansas State University is located. And on campus, we run a bird banding observatory each fall to just catch and practice banding birds. And we actually captured a northern water thrush, which is a medium-sized warbler, and collected this mite off of that individual. A bunch of other Amerodectes jonesborensis specimens were also collected. But to the best of our knowledge, Amerodectes jonesborensis only lives on northern water thrush, and so it's very host-specific. This mite and others are very important to our collection because once we collected and described this mite along with 3 other new species, they formed the foundation of our feather mite collection at Arkansas State, which is part of our entomology collection. This mite is also very important because it is pretty much creating the base work, the foundation for future data analysis in which we hope to explore trends ecologically and evolutionarily with feather mites. And so like I mentioned, this guy is very host specific, but in 20 years, maybe we'll find it on other warbler species. Perhaps it'll disperse somehow, even though feather mites do not have a mobile dispersing stage in their life cycle. They do manage to host shift occasionally. And so keeping up with trends like that is very important for the collection aspect of these mites. And we do hope to take those ideas and those trends from feather mites and potentially apply them to other symbionts in seeing those trends. And we could find really cool trends with human disease ecology or other such vectors. And that's ultimately the goal with this research. And so you might be thanking this little guy one day. But other than that, that's all I have to say. So thank you. And if you want to hear more about feather mites, come see my poster next door. So thank you.